Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
My name is Atul Maheshwari and I'll be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to the 466 meeting of Millennium City Toastmasters Club. Before start of the meeting, I would like to mention 3 ground rules. 1. As a Toastmaster, we don't talk about gender, politics and religion. So please avoid talking about the same. Second, please switch off your mobile phone or put it on a silent mode. Please do it now. Please do not do crosstalks while someone is speaking here. Friends, everyone in life has a mission. Similarly, as a Toastmasters Club, collectively we have a mission. And the mission of our club, I would request everyone to speak after me by taking an oath. The mission of our Toastmaster Club is to provide positive and supportive learning experience in which every member is given equal opportunity to develop communication and leadership skill, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce formally the start of the meeting, and I would like to invite our presiding officer, Dipanshu.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
A little bit more energy. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, all my fellow Toastmasters and respected guests, welcome to meeting number 466. For the benefit of guests, the 466 signifies a very important number. It signifies that this club has been meeting for the past 9 years every Sunday. Along with our fully packed meeting we have today with a nice TMOD session, speeches, table topics, and a very thorough and detailed evaluation. Today is something special. Any guess what we have today? Yes. Today we have potluck. So all our members have bring from their heart and from their kitchen something special for us today. So requesting all the guests and members to please just stay a little longer after our meeting so that we can get befriended with the amazing food we have today. Before we go into our guest introduction, I have 2 major announcements. First is that it's the month of September. Renewals are open. So for all the members who have not yet renewed, I request you to renew as early as possible, because this renewal cycle is with almost every Toastmasters club in the world will happen at this time, and the website gets busy after 26. So requesting you not to delay it till the last, renew it at the earliest possible. Second major announcement that I have today is that we have a new member in our family. A new member has joined our club, and the name of our new member is Toastmaster Anand. Is he here? Yeah. So can we have a huge round of applause for it? So welcome Jatin, best of luck for this exciting journey that you have taken upon. With this, let's move on to our guest introduction. For the guests, just share a brief introduction about yourself so that we can get to know about you and what are your expectations from the club. So, sir, would you like to give us that?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Seth and I'm from sector 45. And I really want to learn communication skill, and I feel I can, if I continue to come here, then I will definitely. Thank you.
That's obviously correct.
Yeah, it's my second meeting today, second club meeting, and glad to be here with you all. Living in sector 48, it's the nearest one, but I just created one in Gurgaon, so I came directly. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sanjay Bolia and I am residing in Sector 15 Part 2 and I am working with United Breweries in accounting department. So this is my first session. Even I joined during the COVID through Zoom, but because of the COVID, so I could not continue. So now again I am trying and hopefully I will continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for coming.
My name is Amish and I am living in Sector 30 now. I am currently working with technical sector today and I am here to learn leadership skills, communication skills and I will have personal growth.
Thank you very much. You are definitely at the right place. Thank you. With this, let's move on to our TMOD. Our Toastmaster of the day today is someone who has joined our club on September 2018. He is a BTech in Textile Technology. He is currently working as a buyer at TTM Corporation. He is also the past president of our club. He is also someone who I have also worked as an EC officer under him. He is a compassionate leader, an amazing human, an amazing friend, always easy to reach out. And today he is going to talk about Toastmasters magazine. Along with the conduction of our meeting as a TMOD, we will talk about the benefits of Toastmaster magazine, what are the qualities that we found in there. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Tapesh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good morning.
While I was preparing for the TMOD session, I was able to, of course, read the entire September issue of magazine. But that's when I also realized that not many people these days read magazine. It's the time of podcast. People listen a lot as well. So before I actually jump onto the theme of the meeting and to share the structure of the meeting as well, I would like to ask each one of you if you read any magazines or listen to any podcast which have helped you personally or professionally that you can share with anybody and anyone can get benefit out of that.
Podcast in general I've heard it on YouTube, but particularly about the storytelling art, which I've heard it from one of the famous storyteller, Storyman. So how it's very essential to have a storytelling art in a business profession. So that kind of a podcast really.
And is there any specific one that anybody can follow?
Nothing coming to my mind, but I can share the link of that.
Okay. So storytelling. Shruti? Aparna, sorry. So Aparna follows storytelling. Anybody else who listens to podcast or follow any magazine?
I read actively in the it's update me of current affairs.
Current affairs. India Today or current affairs? Anyone else? Shaayaan?
I listened to a podcast by Malcolm Gladwell called Revisionist History. So the podcast speaks about events that are overlooked and misunderstood. So he revisits historical events and narrates them in a different perspective.
Wow.
Quite an interesting podcast. Revisionist History.
So everybody just take a note of that. By Malcolm Gladwell, Revisionist History. Anyone else who would like to share any magazine or podcast?
Yeah, I listen a person named Shreya who talks about thinking, mental model and all this. I think it's widely available.
Prayag.
Same Prayag.
Same Prayag. And I would also request each of those members to just put it on MCTC group as well, so that everybody can get benefit out of it.
This I read sometimes I heard sometimes there's a habit coach named podcast.
Habit coach.
Habit coach.
And it's how you can develop habits.
Yeah, how you develop habits. Very
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so almost these days everybody is more into podcast and magazine reading to enhance their learning. So today I'm playing the role of Toastmaster of the day, and they say as an MC or the host or a bead weaver. And I would be for the benefit of guests, how the structure of the meeting would be. So if you can just put it on the slide as well, the next one. So the structure of the meeting, it is broken into 3 parts. The first part is the prepared speeches, where we have 3 speakers who have prepared their speech based on pathways. So there are objectives and they have prepared, and 2 of the speeches are icebreaker speeches, which are milestone speeches. So I would request everyone to give a standing ovation once they have finished their speech. Part 2 of the meeting is table topics, which is taken care of by table topic master, and it is thinking on feet. So a topic is given and you need to deliver 1 to 2 minute speech. And here everybody can participate, so the guests as well as members can be part of it. And third is the evaluation section, where prepared speeches are evaluated by specific evaluators and overall meeting is also evaluated. For voting and feedback, it's online over here. So all the members would receive a link. They can go over there and vote. And for the guests, just reach out to your closest member and scan a barcode and you can give your voting and feedback. We have word of the day, dramatic. So there are 2 meanings. One is relating to drama or the performance or study of drama. Less used, and the usage is dramatic arts. The more used and what is more relevant is of an event or circumstances which are sudden and striking. Usage, changes in sea levels could have a dramatic effect. Half an hour of exercise could have a dramatic effect on your physical well-being. Or coming regularly to Toastmaster meeting can have a dramatic impact on your communication and leadership styles. There are a lot of synonyms or similars which are considerable, substantial, sizable. Everybody everyone is encouraged to use word of the day, and whenever it is used by the speaker over here, just show a thumbs up to encourage the speaker to use the word of the day more and more. We also have idiom of the day today, and that is piece of cake. I think most of you must be familiar. It's something that is very easy to do. Thanks to the internet, finding a good idiom of the day is piece of cake. So would encourage every speaker again to use idiom of the day wherever you can, and again show a thumbs up if a speaker is using it. And now we need an energetic start, and humor is considered to bring a lot of energy. And today we have Jokemaster of the day, who is Toastmaster Anand Rai. Toastmaster Anand Rai is a veteran Toastmaster and is also the founding member of Millennium City Toastmasters Club. He took a break after a span of 5 years and then rejoined us in back 2021. He is a project management consultant with over 19 years of experience and working in IT, ITES and medtech industry. He loves to read both fiction and non-fiction, a movie buff, a traveler, and more you can, once you meet him, get to know about him. So welcome our Jokemaster of the day, Toastmaster Anand Rai.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful. So sometimes your boss puts you in a tough spot. Just like our boss today, Mr. Dipanshu, gave me the counter role as soon as I arrived. So that was one of the instances. But not always. Your bosses sometimes take you out of the tough spot as well, like a piece of cake. So there was this guy in Gurgaon who was actually driving a bike, and on his bike there was a crate of eggs, and he was riding while navigating through the potholes that magically appears just after the monsoon, right? So he was driving and he was navigating through the potholes, and suddenly his bike front tire caught into a pothole and he fell. Where the incident happened, it was actually in front of a market. So everyone came out trying to kind of pick him up and help him. The guy was actually dejected. He was sad, almost at the verge of wailing. People asked him, "Why Why are you so sad? You're safe. There's just a couple of bruises. You're not hurt as bad. He said, see, all my eggs are actually broken. My boss is going to kill me. Then suddenly an elderly gentleman appears. He says, okay, I can contribute 50 rupees so that it can cover some of your losses. That was a dramatic move, right? So everyone actually started contributing, and the guy actually managed to cover all his cost. And then he was picking up his bike, he sat on his bike, and he was almost about to leave. Then someone from the crowd said, you should thank your staff and that elderly gentleman who actually came up with this idea of contribution. Otherwise, you would have been beaten up by your boss. Guy is almost driving and turns around and says, that elderly gentleman is my boss. Thank you.
Now, it's the time to invite our general evaluator, Toastmaster Shaayaan. Toastmaster Shaayaan is also a veteran Toastmaster who has been with Toastmaster for about 4 years and was a president for 2 fantastic clubs. After a break, now he has rejoined Toastmaster fraternity this month. He is a journalist by profession and is currently working at Reader's Digest. Previously, he has been an anchor and reporter at Mirror Now and Bion. He loves to record voiceovers, curate TEDx events, play table tennis, badminton, and is musician by heart and plays guitar and more. Again, you can get to know once you meet him more often. So with this, I would like to welcome our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Shaayaan.
Can't hear you.
It is louder.
It is louder. Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, forgot to turn up the volume. Toastmasters and dear guests, good morning.
Good morning.
What just happened here with the volume?
Virtual meeting.
Virtual meeting? No, I'm looking for one word. What did you guys give me right now?
Feedback.
Feedback. Feedback is what you gave me. As someone on stage, you couldn't hear me, so you gave me feedback, which in a sense is my role today, ladies and gentlemen. I will be evaluating, I've actually started evaluating since last night. I'll be evaluating the entire meeting, all the role players, and the speakers, plus the presiding officers, and finally, you, the audience member. I'll be presenting my report towards the third section of the meeting. To help me play my role, I have my team with me, the team of evaluators and certain auxiliary role players. 3 speech evaluators, Toastmaster Dipanshu, Toastmaster Vivek, Toastmaster Ajay. They'll be specifically evaluating the 3 speakers for today. And in the auxiliary role players, as the body language evaluator, we have Toastmaster Aparna. I would request you to give the audience a brief of your role right from where you are.
Okay, so I'm Aparna. So today I will be evaluating the body language of the speaker. First I will be evaluating the speakers, also the guest who will be appearing for the table topic session. And apart from that, in general, how the crowd is also in terms of receptive to the speaker. So that evaluation I will be doing. Thank you.
Next up, as the grammarian or the language evaluator, we have Toastmaster Reedam. I would ask you to explain your role.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just got this role just now. Yeah. So as a grammarian, I will be listening to everyone uses of words, note down any awkward use of misused language. I will be also listening to everyone, and I will report the creative use of language as well. And there are some examples. For example, a singular verb with a plural subject. 1 in 5 children wear glasses should be 1 in 5 children wears glasses. A pronoun misuse. No one in the chorus sings better than her should be no one in the chorus sings better than she. And I recommend to use everyone to use the word of the day, that is dramatic, and idiom of the day, a piece of cake. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Reedam. Next up, as the R counter, I have on my team Toastmaster Abhishek.
Good morning, my fellow Toastmaster and my dear. As a R counter, I am taking down the note of plus words that the speakers are using on the platform, such as the plus words such as well, what, so, and you. Along with this, I also looking after the sound that you are getting while listening or delivering the speeches, such as and also noting down the repeat word, such as I, this will, this will. In addition, I also listen to the long pauses that the speaker are taking during the speeches, and also look out whether that long pause are necessary part of the sentence structure or not. So that's kind of entire analysis for my chapter.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for explaining your roles and responsibilities. And finally, as the timekeeper, so that we stay on time, today's meeting we have the latest addition to the Toastmasters family, one of the latest additions. To explain his role, please welcome Toastmaster Yadav.
So hello everyone. So all the Toastmasters and the guests. So it is my first time playing any role, and which is luckily the timer, and I think I would be able to play it really well because I prepared a lot last night when Toastmaster Shaayaan called me and helped me a lot. So thanks for that. So let me explain you that what the timer is and what the role is all about. So as a timer, I will monitor and record time for each meeting segment and each speaker. So I will operate the timing signal indicating to each speaker how long he or she has been talking. So for prepared speeches, green card will be shown at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes and red card at 7 minutes. The speaker shall have 30 seconds to close. And for table topics, green cards will be shown at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute and 1.5 minutes and red card at 2 minutes. The speaker shall have 30 more seconds to close. And for evaluations, green card will be shown at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes and red card at 3 minutes. And the speaker again shall have 30 more seconds to close. And in addition, I shall signal the president, Toastmasters, table topping masters and general evaluators with red cards when they have reached their allotted or agreed upon time limit. So when called by a general evaluator, I shall announce the speaker's name and time taken. And I shall also mention those members who are eligible for voting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yadav, and thanks to all the role players as well, my team, for explaining your roles so precisely. Today's thing is potluck, right? You know what they say in Toastmasters? Feedback is the breakfast of champions. But today it seems like potluck is the breakfast of MCTC, right? Are we excited for the meeting? Yes. Come on. Alright, let's do one thing. Please stretch out your right arm. Yeah, stretch it out. Nice and good. Take it to your ear. Gently twist it to turn up the volume. Yeah. Turn it up. No, this is genuine research. Research conducted by the prestigious WhatsApp University. This is a volume knob. Men did not know it, women did. You just never told us. Did everyone turn up the volume knob? I'm going to ask again now. Are we going to have fun today? Yes. That's more like it. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shaayaan. And now I'm a little cautious because everybody is now observing. So we'll start with the theme today, and you can see on the screen, these are the front covers of the magazines. One on your left and one on your right. And they are both the front cover of Toastmaster magazine. And my question to you is, can you tell me Which year could this be? When 1924, that's when Toastmasters started, but not the magazines.
The right one is this year.
The right one is this year.
500.
Sorry?
1200.
No. Nobody would have thought of magazines that time probably. So it's 19.
90s.
No, it's 1930. So that's when Toastmasters started to publish magazines. And you can actually find all the magazines online since then until now. So almost 92 years they have been publishing magazines. And you can find all the articles over there. Next screen. So a couple of questions so that if anybody's had a heavy breakfast and feeling a little drowsy, so just to wake you up, one click at a time. Who is the current international president for Toastmasters?
Person on the magazine.
Yeah, the person on the magazine, but what's the name? Nobody gave attention to that. Matt Kinsey, right. Next one. How many paths are there in Toastmasters? 11. How many competencies are there in Toastmasters? The screen. 300. What's the eligibility criteria for international speech contest?
At least level 2.
At least level.
What more? There are people who have completed CC and CL as well.
Standing, paid,
Member in good standing, 2 levels, and if a person is DTM from the previous path is also eligible even if they have not completed level 1 and level 2. Next, number of Toastmasters in the world. Any guess?
20,000, right?
2,000. Around 200,000.
It's 300,000.
Around.
Number of clubs in the world.
15,000.
More than 15,000, so 15,800 plus.
Yes.
Toastmaster clubs is present in how many countries?
140,000.
So it's 100. Yeah, sure. So 149. I think Ajay has done really good research on all these numbers. He's very close to almost everything. And a fun fact over here, in the number of Toastmaster clubs in how many countries, which all countries have more than 1,000 clubs? India for sure.
US.
So North America and India are the only 2 countries, and North America also includes Canada as well, which have more than 1,000 clubs. And the last but not the least is International Day of Listening. So we talk a lot about speaking. International Day of Listening. It's 15th of September. It was very recent. All this knowledge I got after reading the magazine. So I spent the entire day reading the September issue, and this is how the issue looks like. There are a lot of articles in the magazine that you can go through. Some of them I have listed over here. You can just click. So meet Matt Kinsey, DTM, who is the international president. Soft skills are now durable and in demand, and I'm going to talk about that. Toastmasters go to work in Hollywood, leading from her and the head. Actually a story about Matt Kinsey. Why engineers should train in public speaking. Hidden games in base camp, and so on and so forth. Are you ready for 77-day challenge? And these are all really interesting articles. I'm going to talk about a few of them because I can't cover each of the article, but would recommend you to go into toastmaster.org. On the top you will find magazine. Go into magazine, and then all the articles are available for you to read. So I'll just go to next slide, and this is some of the tips that I So over there, active listening tips, which I'm going to share with you. To start with, give the speaker your full attention. I think one of the most important one. And we ourselves notice that sometimes we are just like texting and some person is talking. It usually happens between a boss and an associate. And like something is going on in our mind, and or we are preparing for some response rather than listening. So giving full attention is just like active listening, not just hearing. Active listening is like engaged with the speaker and understanding what that speaker is saying. The next, remain relaxed and engaged, which is part of the first one only. Just be calm, do not have so many thoughts in your mind, just listen, be present. Respect the speaker's point of view. This often happens, that a person is having a different point of view, which you sometimes don't like, and you just get dejected and just don't want to listen and prepare your own thoughts what I have to say. Resist that temptation and listen whatever other person has to say, even if it is totally different than your opinion. Reserve judgment, which is again related to this. Don't have a judgment come into yourself. Avoid interrupting. So let the other person finish. However, active listening also involves interrupting if you have a question to enhance your understanding. So interrupt if you have a question. You can stop and ask a question to gain more understanding. That is what active listening is all about. Notice the speaker's comfort level and excitement, and that I think is non-verbal cue. How the speaker is saying, what kind of expression that person has. Sometimes the speaker is saying with some anger, and if you just stop that person, it can just turn the events. Or if you just listen that person calmly, it can just change the situation. So just focus on those non-verbal cues as well when you're listening. And again, it's non-verbal cues. It shows your interest, how you're nodding the person. And ask clarifying questions to ensure understanding, which is again, as I said, do not interrupt, but ask questions. Asking question is not an interruption. And a quote by Ralph D. Smedley, who was the founder of Toastmasters: real communication is impossible without active listening. So communication is attached with listening. The next one that I stumbled upon was soft skills are now durable and in demand. So a lot of soft skills are talked about these days. Some of them are communication, creativity, collaboration, character, mindfulness, self-awareness, so on and so forth. However, I would like to point two of them which are the most crucial, and they are communication and collaboration. So communication is the key to communicate your ideas, whatever you're thinking, to present that so that the other person can understand that. But collaboration is also equally important, and that we learn a lot in Toastmasters. It's a teamwork that comes into play. It was actually shared in that article how the role of Toastmaster of the day helps you prepare to be time effective, to be a team leader, you collaborate with everybody, and so is every other role as well. And that's why I mentioned there are 300 competencies that we learn in Toastmasters across 11 parts. So soft skills are the most important, and one of our guests actually mentioned that they are looking to develop those soft skills. So Toastmaster is actually the platform where you can actually develop all these skills. The next is 10 ways to be a better speech writer. I found it really effective, and I'll walk each point that is out there. Eliminate the obvious. So eliminate the phrases that make the audience say, I know that. So if I'm going to talk to you like I'm giving a speech on finance and you're all finance specialists, and I talk about debits and credits, would that make sense? You all know that. So just eliminate all the obvious things, because the audience is there to gain something, not to listen what is already out there. Make one point, I think really effective one that I read. If listeners could remember one thing from my speech, what could that be? So whatever you write or you say, have that one point clear beforehand. Sometimes we mix a lot of points. We want to like say a lot of things, and end of the day, what we achieve is nothing. The listener gets confused what the speaker wanted to say. So just one point and have the stories around that. Have sub points, but just stress that one point that you want listeners as a takeaway. Next one is take your readers on a journey. So stories are considered the most effective way to communicate your ideas, and they are the most effective way to take your listeners on a journey. So try to inculcate a habit of building up stories to make your point. Be choosy with your stories. Now, a lot of times we have a lot of stories to tell, and sometimes we tell a story, and within a story there is a story, and then there is no final one point. So whatever story that you choose, make sure it's effective enough to communicate that one point that you want to communicate. Choose vigorous language. What that means is active voice rather than passive voice. What that also means is less usage of words, succinct language. Just be direct what you want to say. So more active verbs than passive. Cut. Attention time is less, so just keep it really small. Put your draft aside before you present it, and most of the time we have seen, we draft a speech or draft an email or something, and if we review it the next day, we find some of the lines are not needed. We just edit them, remove them. So just keep doing that. If you're writing a speech, write it a day before, next day review it, just eliminate what is obvious. Speaker authenticity, be yourself. Even if you like somebody's way of speaking or something that you want to inculcate, do not mimic. Just take those qualities and just have your own version out of it. Keep it simple. That means hook the audience and put your point really simple way. Those were some of the points. I don't know if I have been able to put it succinctly, but just wanted to explain them. And then with this, I would like to have 1 minute of silence for my feedback. Okay, the feedback link has been shared. And guests can actually reach out to your nearby members and scan the barcode and give the feedback. And as mentioned by Toastmaster Shaayaan, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So that I can improve in future, I really need a feedback. What are the things that you liked or didn't like? So 1 minute is over. Everybody's attention. Now we are actually moving into the first segment of our meeting, which is prepared speeches. And there is a dramatic change in the order of speeches, and now our third speaker is actually coming in first. So just move on to Toastmaster Shashi. So I would like to invite our first speaker, Toastmaster Shashi. He is a veteran Toastmaster who was associated with Millennium City Toastmaster before and rejoined back in August 2020. He is a finance and strategy professional and currently head business finance at Cars 24. He is a sports and fitness enthusiast and loves to read novels. Today, he is presenting a speech from Path Innovative Planning, Project 3.1, Present a Proposal. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Ajay, to speak about the objective of his speech.
Good morning, everyone. So everyone in life needs to do proposal. Like most of I see young guys, so they will want to propose with their friends or boyfriends, and whoever, or your wife, you want to do it second time. So you have to do this. So you have to propose, right? Or in offices you make a proposal. I also came across in Toastmasters some startup guys. You need to make proposals. So today so how you should learn that. So today our speaker is going to do the same thing. The purpose of his project is for him to practice and developing and presenting a proposal. So hopefully we all learn how to propose. Thank you very much and all the best.
Toastmaster Shashi, success needs a catalyst. Success needs a catalyst. Toastmaster Shashi.
In all my experience working across India, the one thing that stood out is the desire for success in life. And the desire for success in life is often simplified into the desire for success and growth in career. Let me have a quick show of hand to understand the audience preferences. How many of you desire success in career? Almost all of you. How many of you feel that you are already successful? At least one. So Toastmaster and guest, today I am here to share the proposal and plan to achieve success in life. Success is a complex topic. Success is something which you do not achieve automatically. It needs a catalyst. Though chemistry is not my favorite subject, the concept of catalyst is stuck with me. The basic concept is that catalyst, in the presence of catalyst, the catalyst causes either a chemical reaction or accelerate the chemical reaction. In spite of presence of all ingredients, we need a catalyst for a chemical reaction to start. So just let's take an example. Automobile emissions have lots of carbon monoxide on it, which is, and I am going slightly technical here, so pardon me. Automobile emissions have lots of carbon monoxide in it, which is very harmful for our health. It needs to convert into carbon dioxide, which is basically less harmful. And basically carbon monoxide reacts with oxygen to convert into carbon dioxide, and there is ample oxygen present into the atmosphere, but the reaction does not happen automatically. That's why automobile companies put catalytic converter into the engine fuel, so that the carbon monoxide get converted into carbon dioxide. Enzymes in body also plays a similar role that help digest the food in the body. Similarly, in the decades of corporate experience, I realized that success is something which does not happen automatically. It needs a catalyst. Most people have the ingredients of success. We have the required skill set. We have that experience. We have spent enough time into the corporate world and developed that experience. Some people even reach the senior level position, but they fail. Despite the presence of all these ingredients, many people doesn't achieve success. because success needs catalyst. The set of actions which is required to fuel the success in our career. I am here to share the three such examples, three such concepts with you. The first concept is primarily with respect to experience. Experience needs a catalyst. Most of us wrongly believe that the higher the time we spend to do organization working hard, we gain experience, we learn the basic concept of the business. But it doesn't happen. It's a myth. The time is spent in company is not equal to experience. Basically, it needs to be catalyzed. And it happens through a concept named TMR, which is target, measure, review. Basically, for each activity which you do into organization, you have to set target for it. And that should be completely measurable in terms of the KPI. And at the end of that activity, you should be measuring the result and see why the variance is happening, and you should be deeply analyzing it. Let me take a personal example. I think, this is the time when I completed half marathon. When I first attempted, I wanted to complete the half marathon in 2 hours 30 minutes. That's the standard time which people takes. But I ended up completing the marathon in 3 hours 20 minutes. When I analyzed and reviewed the variances which has happened, I realized that I lost a lot of energy in the second half of the race, and I lost my stamina. So basically I came up with the strategy that I need to maintain a constant pace or vary the pace as in a desired way so that I can achieve the required time. I implemented that strategy in the second race, and I completed the race in 2 hours 30 minutes. Anyway, the point which I want to drive here is that we all spend significant time in work, and to convert that work into experience, we need to have that catalyst approach of target, measure and review. The second concept which I want to talk about is primarily around productivity, which is again an ingredient to success. But productivity also requires a catalyst. Many of us believe that as we spend higher time into the organization, our productivity grows, but that's not the case. Most people, when they reach senior level position, they fail because they are not able to handle the complex task of multitasking, multi-stakeholder management. And it requires a significant amount of personal productivity to achieve success, at least in the second half of your career. And the approach which I want to talk about is the rocks first approach. This is something which I read. I will show that book. It mentions, let's assume that you have 2 jars and you want to fill sands and rocks into it. If you fill sand first, it will take most of the space and you will not be able to put rocks into it. But if you put rocks first and then sand will automatically take space in the cavity, and you will be able to achieve your objective. And that's what this concept is talks about, right? You need to prioritize your important tasks, and the less important tasks like responding to emails, responding to emails or managing less priority tasks is something which adjusts in between and you achieve the desired result which you want to achieve. The third concept, which is very important to me, is primarily around life and value as a catalyst to success. We again wrongly assume that work is something which impacts our life a lot, and that's why there is a concept of work-life balance. There is a concept of stress management, etc., etc. But the impact of work on life is lower than the impact of life on work. Most of the people who have become successful leaders have become because they have certain personal value which they brought into their life, their leadership style. So for example, let's take famous example, Mahatma Gandhi, a great leader. We all agree that he is a great leader. He becomes great and people followed him because of his personal value of simplicity and honesty. Let's take another example, Mother Teresa. She is also a great leader. Why? Because she brings the personal value of honesty, compassion, empathy, and which really is something which people could relate to it. If you see the successful leader in your career, you will see that there is certain value which stood out completely. Like for example, they are either honest, they are either possess the value of humility, etc., etc., and which really differentiate him as a person, as a leader. Anyway, the point which I am trying to do is these are all of the concepts which can be discussed in deeper detail. I can spend hours and hours, but you can read this book. This is something which really helped me to develop these nuances and understand these nuances. In summary, success is something which you achieve by becoming the person, by becoming that person, and to become that person you have to develop those personal value which I talked about, right? And work on this catalyst which will definitely help you fuel the success in your career. And those catalysts are converting your time into experience through the TMR approach, target measure review approach, and second, improve your personal productivity by rock first approach, and third, definitely develop your lodestar value, the value where you stood out. Thanks, over to you, TMOD.
1 minute of silence to give the speaker feedback. So now is the time to invite our second speaker. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Harsh. Toastmaster Harsh joined Millennium City Toastmasters Club last month. He is BTech in Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence. He is currently not working as an intern, right? Right now an intern, a data analyst at Niva Bupa Health Insurance. He loves socializing, traveling, and loves to play badminton. Today he is delivering his first speech, which is a milestone speech. It's called an icebreaker speech. And his path is presentation mastery. I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Vivek, to share the objectives of his speech.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So today Toastmaster Harsh will deliver icebreaker speech. The purpose of icebreaker speech is to introduce member to the club and understand basic structure of public speaking. Timing would be 4 to 6 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Harsh.
And as said before, icebreaker speech is a milestone speech, so would request everybody to give a standing ovation once the speaker has finished his speech. So with this, let's welcome Harsh. Toastmaster Harsh. The joy of life, Toastmaster Harsh.
What is the purpose of our life? Can anyone tell me?
Make difference in the world.
The purpose of our life is to remain happy and healthy. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hope you are enjoying Sunday morning. My name is Harsh, and I recently completed my graduation and am in the phase of learning new things and starting a few new things recently. Does anyone tell me what are my priorities?
Being happy and healthy.
Yeah, of course. But after completing graduation, my first priority is to getting a good job. Second, of course, joining a Toastmaster to improve my communications and leadership skills. While my roots are in interior Haryana, my family settled in Gurgaon quite some time now. My father is working with state government and my mother is a homemaker who believes in overfeeding our entire clan. That's why I also addicted to Ghar Ka Khana like everyone. I am also a nemesis with none other than with my sister. We compete in all arenas in life, especially where we are not required to. Starting with the morning, we start fighting with that who will get the lunch box first in the morning. Coming to my hobbies, as the true Haryana spirit, as in childhood I was quite rigorous and passionate about participating in sports. Are you aware that my state produces maximum number of sports person in India? Over 30% of the medals in Olympic by India have been backed by Haryana. My favorite sports is Taekwondo and I grabbed a silver medal at state level. But there is a continuous pressure of performing better than Padosi ka beta, that is neighbor's son. Sports were left behind and studies took forefront. Coming to my studies, as I mentioned in the starting, I recently completed my graduation. However, I joined college with aspirations like bunking the college classes, day out with friends, going for a movie, but we all know how COVID ने हमारे सपनों पे पानी फेर दिया. COVID closed my dreams, but I am quite ziddy and persistent person. Bunk नहीं तो Netflix और PUBG ही सही. So that's how me and my friend aged during the COVID era. One new thing I did recently started was I started working as a data analyst. I managed big data in small time on various platforms. For someone, numbers can be boring, but for me, numbers are a piece of cake. I work in actual and analytics function, and coming to my Toastmasters journey, I heard this club during the office conversation and posed some nudges, and I thought, why not? After some googling, I decided to visit the nearest Toastmaster club, and here I met some wonderful people who engaged me in building my morale and confidence in myself. And I am sure that this learning will take me in public speaking also. So before I complete my speech, one has to, the principle of life which I believe in my life is one has to believe in themselves, rest of the thing will fall in place. Get out of your comfort zone, take the first step towards your dream. Once you starting working towards your dream, you will finding some new person. They will help you, or sometimes even they ignore you. But it is very well said that the zindagi ka maza to khatte mein hi hai, the fun of life is in sureness. So that's all, and I am very thankful to my manager and mentor for giving me this right direction of joining Toastmaster. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, on demand, you probably, if you want, can have some dialogue in Haryanvi, in case you want to, after the meeting. So 1 minute of silence to give feedback to the speaker. So now is the time to invite our third speaker for today, Toastmaster Shreya. Toastmaster Shreya joined Toastmasters last month. She is a homemaker and preparing for UPSC. She aspired to be a good orator and communicator. She loves reading, loves listening music, traveling and playing badminton. Her path is presentation mastery. She is delivering her icebreaker speech, and as I said, it's a milestone speech. Everybody is requested to give a standing ovation. I would like to request his evaluator Toastmaster Dipanshu to share the objectives of her speech.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How many of us can say that we have lived a life fully? Not many of us, right? But today we are going to hear a speech of a person who is going to tell us about how to live life to full. It's an icebreaker speech, and as Vivek sir said, the purpose of an icebreaker speech is for the speaker to introduce herself to the audience, to the Toastmasters Club, and to learn the basic aspects of public speaking. With this, I wish best of luck to our speaker, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you. Toastmaster Shreya, my life, live it fully every day. My life, live it fully every day, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you so much. Icebreaker, and I have to speak for 4 to 6 minutes. Wow. A person who has never ever delivered even a 5-minute long speech in her life. Well, good morning, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests.
Good morning. Good morning.
As we all know, light travels faster than sound. This is why we all appear bright until we come and speak on stage. I am here to grab this opportunity because I feel that life is like ice cream. So we enjoy it and before it gets melted. A child was born in a small town called Gurgaon, which is just 30 kilometers away from most final resting place of Gurgaon, which is Shashi. And this child is none other than me. And we all have very emotional moments, right? My mama is next level. She started crying while looking at me as I was not so good and not healthy. Looking very well. My mother is homemaker and my father is a government employee. And they named me Shreya, which means a symbol of prosperity and excellence. Well, I have 2 siblings. One is younger, one is elder, and second is younger to me. And we were like study buddy, and I'd like Tom and Jerry. And I was very naughty among them. I used to break things and blame them for it. So, yeah. And I have best memory of my schooling time. I met so many friends and actively participate co-curriculum activities like badminton, kho-kho, singing, dancing, and of course basketball. And I won so many medals as well. But I was not good in maths and science subject. I was so naughty. Even I didn't even make a notebook of math subject. And that is why my that is why I was beaten by my teachers and math teacher and my parents. Somehow I managed to pass. But I had a dream of becoming a doctor earlier. But when I had to move on, and I had to move on. Those days, every parents, and if not parents, then their kids,
Either wanted to become a doctor or an engineer. Wanted to go for IIT, and if not IIT, then NIT. And if not NIT, then VIT. And I was not eligible for any of them. So I took CIT, which means Commerce Institute of Technology. Well, I am commerce graduate, and I am commerce graduate from Gorakhpur University, and worked as an accountant in CA firms for few months. Well, I finished my master in business administration just before COVID from Meerut University. Well, I'm an introvert person and don't open up and gel with people quickly. But I like beach, and of course water. I can take shower multiple times in a day. So I'm mad about chocolates. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for an ice cream. So I love ice cream. And yeah, and I'm not like eating outside food. So but sometimes I like to enjoy Chinese and Pani Puri. Well, talking about Pani Puri, my husband is just like Pani Puri. Little bit tasty, lovable, and of course some little spicy. And my marriage is full of interesting coincidences. Me and my husband, we were born on same district hospital in same city. And me and my mother-in-law, we were college. We studied in same college. She is my college senior. Okay, so you all must be thinking it could be love marriage, but it is not. It is typical Indian arranged marriage. Well, we met in 2019 and got married in 2020. Sorry. Living happily ever after blessing in disguise. Another interesting thing, when I joined Toastmaster, just got inspired by my consistent effort of my Reedam Pati, who has highest individual recognition by Toastmaster International, International, and thanks to you, MCTC members, and of course my mentors, who welcoming me and giving me opportunity and confidence to deliver my first icebreaker speech. I am here to overcome my stage fear and learn presentation skill. Thank you.
One minute of silence to give feedback. So now we are moving on to the second section of our meeting, which is table topics. And to conduct the session, I would like to invite our table topic master, Toastmaster Surinder. Toastmaster Surinder. Toastmaster Surinder joined Millennium City Toastmasters Club last month. He has got 9+ years of experience in corporate world and entrepreneurship. He loves reading, he loves writing poetry and stories, he loves socializing and exploring places. He loves playing chess. Maybe someday we can play, because I also love playing chess. So with that, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Surinder to conduct the session.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Tapesh, for introducing me so well. And welcome, and good morning. Good morning to all fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am here to lead the session, the second section of the meeting. It is table topics. I promise to you, this will be a most entertaining part of this section, of the whole meeting. Before to start, I have to explain about the table topic sections. This section is specially designed to improve our improv speaking. So for that we have to, in this section, I will call a person on that stage. I will give one topic. He have to speak 1 to 2 minutes on that topic. He or she may be open to speak to anyone, so anything on that topic. Other to explain, to just can move next slide. Audio. I was talking about the audio approach, because this just a guidebook for all the speakers here. You can use the audio approach, where you can in audio, O stands for opinion. When you get a topic, you just state your opinion on that topic, and then give one reason. With the example will be good, and it will be a help to speak more. Then again, to conclude your speech on that topic with the restate opinion and summarize the things. These were the things. And timelines, I already mentioned that there are 1 to 2 minutes you have to speak. On 1 minute the timer will show green flag, and at 1.5 minutes it will show yellow flag. At the completing of the 2 minutes the timer will show a red flag, and you have next 30 seconds to conclude your speech on that topic. Let's proceed further with that. And to make it more interactive and more communicating with the audience as well, I added in this session some puzzles also. Please, this one is the first one. You have to guess the country name. Any guess on that?
Greenland.
Germany. That's right. Give an approach for that was German. Why? Germany. So I will invite my first speaker here, as it is just a trial board for this session. So I will invite experience our Toastmasters member. I will like to invite Mr. Ajay. I believe he is the one of the best table topic speaker. And he is the best person to describe how to give the speech on table topics. So please.
This is the recipe for disaster.
Next. That's the topic for Ajay.
Well, there are many things about which are very good about our country. But one thing which I really like about is the diversity. I have read this, lived this. This is the best thing is diversity, unity in diversity. From very childhood, we have learned that this is the best thing which has happened to our country. And not just our country, look at right now at ourselves. Just take a look at ourselves right now. We are all diverse people here, sitting here. We have Sikh, we have communities, religion. If I talk Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, and if we have anyone else, we have all. And we are somebody are long, tall, short, smart, fat, handsome, beautiful. We all have in our club, and this makes us really diverse people. And this diversity is actually because we are coming in here, sticking together and keeping us united. Because if we are looking at same, how many of you have actually watched the movie Matrix? How many? Matrix. Yeah. In the end, in the final movie, the virus, Mr. Smith, actually changed everyone into him, right? Even Mr. Anderson, even the Neo, he changed it. And when he became Mr. Smith, everything becomes zero. Everything becomes crashing down. The movie ends there, because if everyone is same, who are we? We are not nothing. If you and me look alike, it's nothing. So the end will come when everyone becomes same. So we need to be different. We don't try to be different, because you are already unique. So be who you are. And that's the best thing I think our country has over others, our diversity. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that great good speech. Just I want to mention here that topic about the German country, but you did well. I believe I made some mistake. I have to mention that topic also that name. No, not an issue. And that's the second puzzle. That was a very simple one. China. So Mr. Hondo, and I want to invite I invite Toastmaster Reedam to speak on this topic. Please. Toastmaster Reedam, your talk.
Yeah. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. My topic is China. Tell us about the thing that you don't like the most about the country. Okay. Can anyone tell me that what you don't like about China?
Chinese goods. Conflict at border.
Poor quality product manufacturing.
Poor quality. Yeah, so China, what I understood about China is the second in terms of GDP after US, and we are currently we have shifted toward, I think we are in the 6th or maybe 5th position. We just surpassed UK, and I'm sure that we are definitely going to beat China as well in future. Just like in Toastmasters and the guest said, like it is the country's border. We have heard about the Doklam, and we heard about the other conflicts which are going. Take for example of Sri Lanka and Pakistan. What is happening? Sri Lanka is currently in the debt from China, and China is taking over Sri Lanka. Similarly, Pakistan is on is the debt from China, and what China is doing is taking over Pakistan as well. So it's a great disaster for India as well, because in the border when the China the Chinese will going to be more powerful around India, it's not a good for the country. Thank you.
Thank you. It was very well said, and the approach he uses, I really like that. If you don't know, ask to the audience. That's he got the idea on that. And yesterday I went there. I just want to share something here. I went the all Toastmasters meet. I want to share my experience. Just will take that in 1 minute. The learning I from that meeting was that as I was I am aware that today I have to play the TTM role. Then I have to focus on that. But he's doing that. So he was doing that after every table topic speech. He mentioned that why he chose that topic, from where he get the idea. He mentioned that like that. I believe that this is a good thing we have to improve when we